It's an old celebration that's a new federal holiday. I'm Jonathan Bloom, and here's what to know about Juneteenth. It goes back to the 1860s when President Lincoln declared the end of slavery, but some folks in Texas never got the message. Juneteenth celebrates the day slavery finally ended there on June 19, 1865. Texas was the last Confederate holdout, so even 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, as many as 250,000 Black Americans were still enslaved there. The Union Army arrived in Galveston and announced that all enslaved people were free and would have the same rights as other Americans. The first Juneteenth celebration was held right there in Texas 1 year later. Some of the early celebrations were also political rallies and a chance for African Americans to learn how they could exercise their right to vote, which was not always easy in those days. Celebrations started out in churches, but quickly grew into parks and public squares. The Jim Crow era put a damper on those things in the early 20th century, but Juneteenth grew bigger than ever with the civil rights movement. Here in San Francisco, the first Juneteenth celebration was in 1945, but it was never an official holiday until Texas recognized it as a state holiday in 1980, and other states slowly began to follow. Here in the Bay, like so many other places, it became a celebration of African American culture, music, and, of course, delicious food. But in 2020, with the nation in shock from the police killing of George Floyd, Juneteenth took on new meaning. All over the country and right here on the spot where I'm standing, the holiday went back to its roots as a time to rally, to educate, and to get out the vote. Once again, people started asking, why is the oldest African American holiday not a national holiday? Well, now it is. Just last year, President Biden signed it into law, an act making Juneteenth the 11th federal holiday. It's celebrated on the 19th, and this year it falls on Father's Day, which is a Sunday. So if you work for the government or many large companies, it means you'll get Monday off, a little free time to celebrate freedom.